Check podcasts.
The Bread and Butter Collective is a collection of hospitality professionals working together to help strengthen our industry to build strong culture, community, and sustainability.
I'm Kalen McNeil.
And I'm Sam Jones. And this is the Bread and Butter Podcast.
Welcome to the Bread and Butter Podcast. How are you, Sam?
Oh my God, we're doing this?
We're doing this.
Okay, yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah.
How are
Sometimes
you
we
doing?
start the podcast by having a conversation. We've got some guests and we're talking. We've got to remember that we got to be recording ourselves.
I know, because sometimes the conversation gets right into what we want to
Yeah,
talk
well,
about.
we're
And
very
it's like,
passionate.
oh man, we should be hitting record.
Yeah, we use all our best
It's
material.
not our job to hit record. That super producer Vivian's
Yeah,
job.
Viv. I call her Viv.
I call her super producer Viv.
Yeah, Viv. Oh, you're using Viv now.
Well,
Viv.
I mean, it's catchy and,
Yeah.
Well,
we have Vivian's approval to call her Viv. So
She got your approval. I'm breaking the bank here.
Oh,
yeah.
No approval yet. You're just doing it no matter what.
I'm just doing it anyway.
We'd like to welcome our guests.
We sure would.
We've got Chris and Clay from the Canadian Box and Paper.
Yeah.
Did I get that
Thanks
right?
for having us, guys. We appreciate it.
And
Yeah,
not to
thanks
be
for having me
confused with Chris Clay either.
No, not to be confused with that guy.
Shout out to Chris Clay.
Shout out to Chris Clay, who's taken both your names.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started. How did you guys get into this business? And if you want to bounce back and forth with each other.
Well, you want the long story or the
And,
short story?
and kind of describe
story.
what your business is. What
Yeah,
does it sell and who
Yeah.
does it cater to?
Sure.
Because most
You're
people don't know
a
right now.
Victoria-based business, is that correct?
yeah, well,
Servicing the
South
restaurant
Island,
industry.
yeah, you
South
know,
Island.
serving the restaurants, hotels, school districts, you name it. We got products for everybody. We
And what are your products? What do you do? What is it?
well,
I mean, I know what it
disposable,
is, but
compostable box and paper products. These coffee cups we're drinking out of, the lids, the napkins that we're using here, paper towel, toilet paper. The list goes on and on. We've got getting close to 300 products in our inventory now. So, yeah,
Wow,
things
that's
are
a
going
lot of
really well.
SKUs.
Yeah, a lot of SKUs. For me, it started many years ago as a dishwasher. That's probably a lot of people in the industry started.
First
and,
stop.
I met some great chefs like Aiden Tufel, like I was mentioning earlier, and
what spots did you work at? Like local?
my God, my first dishwashing job was for Katrina's Grill in Mill Bay. Actually,
Oh, okay.
Frank, German guy, great place to work, great people. I delivered some pizza. I worked at some pubs, some golf courses, and that's where I met Aiden, who taught me like a love for he's so creative and talented, and he taught me a lot of things, and I really developed that love for culinary, food, just all of that. I love entertaining,
Yeah.
so that's
Hospitality. kind of thing.
hospitality, and that's kind of what got me into this, and I always kind of had this dream of recreating that awesome environment that we worked in back in the day, you know what I mean? So and I've worked in like so many industries. Like I'm an electrician by trade, pilot, logger, blaster, tattoo artist, you name it, right? Like we've done all sorts of stuff.
What a resume.
Oh well, it goes on. I won't bore you with
And
it does
he,
go
I mean, the video, people can see the video. He's clearly 110 years old, so he's had many
lifetimes. Yeah. Lived it all. But so Chris and I were ripping around on our Harleys one day, and we're like, hey, let's do this. Let's start this food truck, the Little Corner Sandwich Shop.
Oh yeah.
Right. So we had a couple locations, and it was great. It was everything I wanted. I really enjoyed being behind the grill, cooking the food that I loved, food that I wanted to share with the community, right? And people would just come to see me. We'd chat. It was an awesome environment. We just had the best time ever. We were making lots of money, and I mean, we were selling a burger and fries for like $12.
Yeah.
Back
How
then.
long ago was this?
Seven years ago
2019.
now.
Yeah.
6
Okay.
years
Oh,
ago.
good
Yeah,
year to-
7.
Yeah.
Right as
Yeah,
COVID
good to
came,
get out.
actually.
Fall 2019.
Yeah. But that's
I
when
don't
the
remember
quarry.
that.
You guys know the quarry in Shawnigan? You
Oh,
familiar
yeah,
with that?
yeah.
So that was becoming really popular, to the Victoria crowd back then. So the place was just bumping.
Like people
and
going up on.
They would finish
weekends
their
and
day
stuff.
there. They would all come down to the Little Corner. We'd have lineups around the block. It was just great, and then that kind of got shut down. COVID came in, and
It kind of really is a momentum killer too.
You hear that a lot, right?
Yeah.
COVID, right?
Yeah.
But it really did stifle.
I hate blaming it, but it's such a permanent point in time for so many people that was a pivot point for so many people. But I know I keep catching myself saying, "Oh, well,
It's COVID.
Before COVID,
Yeah.
It's like there's a PC and a post C.
Yeah.
And COVID was actually really good for us because all the restaurants were shutting down.
Yeah,
we were
you
fully
gotta
takeout,
food-
so it was
yeah.
like, whoa, it was just
yeah.
like boom and exploded. But that's when the food costs and
Yes.
like just all these things started add up, and like our $12 burger and fries evolved into like $27 burger and fries, and we're making the same amount of money on that thing. And
my
people are
God.
like, "What is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
why are you gouging us?
How dare
And
you
we're
charge
like,
us?
We're just trying to be on the front end of that wave, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're just trying to stay alive and stay in business. So it was always a balance. We're always trying to pull that profit, and just make it work. And we found ourselves like reducing prices to not making any profit, just to keep people happy and keep
the volume
keep
going.
it alive,
But
keep
you
the
realize you're not
volume.
why, like I guess the thing about it is too is like in business there's always the hope, and then you think you're selling some lost leaders to build some trade, and then you can kind of backfill the price increases later to try to make some money. But I think COVID taught me anyways that it's not a way to do it because you're shortchanging yourself. And in the end of the day, a business owner who takes the risks and needs to make an income, they got to support themselves. You got to charge what you need to charge.
Yeah, and we'll adapt.
Yeah.
We'll survive,
Yeah.
man. That's the name of the game.
You can
right?
survive a long time without making money in the restaurant industry. Ask anybody who owns a restaurant.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared to get those periods of time, and it was definitely peaks and valleys with that, right? And but that's like where Canadian Box and Paper came from, right? Like we want to help our accounts, our customers, our friends, make it, right? And that's what we didn't like about the other the people we were using. I won't mention their names, but I mean, no transparency. It's like, let us know what you want and we'll give you a quote, and it's going to be different from this guy and different from that guy, and we're going to gouge you and get as much money out of you as possible. And I mean, that's business, right? But if our customers are doing well, we're doing well, right? And it's like, we're trying to take a bit of a high ground here, like a moral, ethical sort of situation, and I think it's really working. Like we offer services that none of them do. We have a fully zero-emission delivery, system, and now we're supplying Big Wheel, which is fully compostable. And I mean, I don't think a lot of people can say that they can do that. I think Big Wheel is one of the only places that is doing that.
And that's kind of was our business plan. And when you think of, there's been some recent changes to legislation in Victoria with respect to one-way packaging, and it was frustrating for my business because we built it all on the backs of compostable programs, and compost is a very important sustainability thing because it regenerates soil, and it's having that compost use for the stuff there's a purpose for it. But when now we're forced to have some silverware and things like that, which for us, it's like, man, we built our whole model on this. Everything gets composted. We vetted where the compost goes. We've sent all of our stuff. It all gets broken down. They've told us it gets broken down. And now we're being mandated. And then there's some restaurants that don't have cleaning or dishwashing facilities.
Yeah.
So there's extra investment. I get what they're doing. I guess this is part of the thing too, and the challenge is when you look at the regulations, because all of the material, like depending for us, in order for us to claim what we claim, there's certain standards that we have to meet, or there's like an auditing process. So when we come to you guys, you're like, okay, is this product that you're bringing in meet that certification? And is that certification meet this? And frankly, some of it, you just kind of go, like, you kind of just think, what is this BS? Like, it's all these regulations, and then who does it? Like, who's overseeing it and why?
Yeah.
But I get it. You got to have some standards,
And it's unpredictable.
It's very
and
unpredictable.
It's like, should we invest into this
Yeah.
thing that could just be
What,
you
they
know, the
completely
government
ban
flip-flops,
PLA,
you
you
know, and
know?
it's like
Yeah.
that's a huge investment for small companies like us to get
Yeah.
into. Like
Yeah.
now we carry this whole line of PLA, you know,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, oh well, we don't have the facilities to actually compost it, so
yeah.
now it's illegal plastic, right?
Well,
Like,
and I think part of it too is just the education piece on that, because the thing that struck me, we've been involved in some of the consultation when this was coming down with the city, and they sort of represented a certain position, and then we consult. And then we're like, oh, okay, well, and we give feedback, and we spend the time to give them constructive feedback of all the issues. And you think, okay, this could work if you do it like this. Then they're like, oh, okay, thanks everybody. And then they announce the policy, and it's pretty much the exact same policy that we debated.
yeah,
And none of our changes or modifications that were realistic and reasonable and unanimous. Like everybody that was there that were affected by this all had the same agreement on it. And they were thinking, okay, this will be good. And it comes out, and I remember, Sam and I I got on the news, and people were calling, oh, what do you guys think about this thing? And we're being quoted as if we've endorsed it and approved it. And for me, it was like total threat to my business to some degree, because everything, if we have to start using different materials, then everything goes into the compost for us, everything, because it's all compostable. So then we introduce like a bowl now. And I'm having to source, I'm getting wheatgrass bowls. And then we have to do also our research on what is environmentally friendly, what is, and then we're going to be adding plastics. And like, I'm fine with navigating some of that stuff. But when it kind of goes against what our whole business philosophy is, like, it's a little bit prejudicial, because I think there is an argument and a need for businesses to be compostable.
Yeah.
And compost is an important circular agriculture thing,
Absolutely.
where you're also adding more material that is compostable, that can be used and turned into soil, and then you grow things. And urban agriculture is something I'm interested in too. So it comes from a genuine place, but when you're being sort of regulated, it's kind of like,
well, you're really pioneering, something that hasn't really been tapped into too much around here, and
yeah.
and it's
But it's so
gonna have
hilarious
a
though.
huge
We've been around
impact.
15 years, and I'm like, well, where is everybody else doing it? Why is it? Why aren't they? Even the federal government, like, why are they not giving incentives for people to become carbon neutral? And now they're talking net zero, and I get why they're doing it. And
It's
we're
a big
changing.
expense.
It's a big expense.
Yeah.
Well, it is, and it isn't, because like you're going to be spending on garbage removal.
Yeah.
So you're going to be like we literally divert 96% of the stuff that comes into our restaurants.
Yeah.
Like, so we have like one bag of garbage a month that goes to the, we still need a dumpster because that's just the way it is, but everything goes to compost. So maybe it costs an extra 15 to 20% over the dumping, but there's a marketing component to it, and there's also the doing the right thing part of it.
Well, my sources are telling me that PP and PE and these other plastic products are actually the oil, the price of oil, and this whole Iran thing, and those prices are going up, and pretty soon I think the PLA products are actually going to be a little bit cheaper.
That's right.
So, and that's happening right now, and the same with the sugarcane products coming from China. They're some portion of them or something isn't what they said it was going to be, and there's these.
Yeah, that's the whole auditing trail too, because you start marching down a path, and all of a sudden the regulations change, and you find out, okay, this is like PLA is a great example, because now they're not wanting products with PLA, and I get what they're doing, but all these add layers and barriers and costs to everything you're doing. And when you're a supplier trying to make a profit, and then we're a restaurant on such thin margins trying to make a profit too, it's really kind of tough to navigate. It's kind of like being in the restaurant industry, like for you guys. Like, imagine you're Chris, you're squeezing products all the time and trying to figure out how you can make a little bit more, but still trying to bring the value. Because I mean, your products were cheaper. Like, we obviously, our previous supplier that supplied it were amazing.
Less expensive.
Less expensive. Yeah, I guess
Not
that's
cheaper.
that's the sorry.
The greater value.
Yeah, cheaper. No, less expensive, which obviously is exciting as a restaurateur. But you then have to make sure that your product is what it says it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we try to kind of do both. Like when we started Canadian Box and Paper, it was right around when the single-use plastic ban was being rolled out. I can't remember if it was sort of the second phase of that rollout or whatever it was, but we had to sit down and kind of go through and say, how do we build our product line, in this sort of like plastic-free environment?
Yeah.
So we started with no plastic.
Yeah, so you kind of started from that spot.
Yeah, and it's been an interesting thing, but the regulations, they're constantly evolving, and the municipalities are rolling out their own, as you know.
Yeah.
And we're just sort of trying to stay ahead of it. And we do carry, or we try. Some of our customers prefer the domestic products. They want the solo cups, or they want the this sort of stuff. Whereas other people are a little bit more price conscious, and they want to. Like some of the food banks and things, aren't that concerned. So we sort of ended up carrying a little bit of both.
Right.
And, in the case of other customers, we've got to bring in those purely compostable options as well. So
yeah, trying to be everything to everybody, And,
well, and that's the
that's
thing.
what we do best.
Like having those SKUs, but also that takes up capital too. Right. So you need to make sure that your SKUs are moving and flowing and there's no dead stock, but you're navigating the dead stock. And, and being an importer, I know, because I used to be an importer, like you got to fund all that stuff up front. It's probably, a 30-day to 45-day turnaround. And then you're selling it. And then if you're giving terms to your customers, then you're looking at a 3-month, turn, and if you buy a product that doesn't sell, you're like, I mean, I know I'm getting hives thinking about it.
PTSD.
I don't want to tell you about how many boxes of coffee cups, that we have from, a shipment that just didn't work out or whatever it was. We try to find a place for everything, but
well, I guess that sort of gives you that ability to maybe like for the nonprofits and the food banks and those kinds of things, you could, give them better value just to clear it out. Less particular, put it on the list of I learned that lesson. But I know I remember I brought in about 2,000 water coolers and the Home Depot just canceled the PO. And, and we're like, oh my goodness, what do I do? Yeah, we're talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then a year later, I'm thinking you get through that mess, and a year later they order another cooler, and it's supposed to be white, but it comes pink. And it's in a box that looks white, but every customer that's returning it, this is pink, and I'm like how do you? Okay, that's a fire retardant that we put in there to, and it's really not pink. It's like a hue, it's like rosé.
It's a salmon.
Yeah, it's a salmon. It's a rosé.
We used to get excited when the shipments would show up. They're pulling in. We're like, oh, it's wonderful. It's here. We're super excited to get it unpacked. Now it's like just
anxiety day.
It's tense until we get that box opened.
Yeah.
And we get
put the lid on the cup. Snap.
Yes.
Oh my God. It
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because you never know.
That is a big issue.
Yeah.
there's challenges, but we came from the restaurant industry, and we had, well, I say restaurant, we had 2 food trucks, one in Cobble Hill and one at Duncan.
Yeah.
And we definitely struggled. Everything we did was takeout, similar to you guys.
Yeah.
So there was a big learning curve there for us, and it really sort of, like Clay said, sort of laid the path towards box and paper. It was sort of born from necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah, your need. Well, that's like any good idea, really, right? In business.
Sitting down at the end of the year going, wow, how much did we spend on these paper products?
Yeah.
And every dollar that we save on it just goes onto the bottom line.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find ways to cut food costs, increase sales, but this is an area where you can just trade one item for another item and save yourself 10%.
Yeah, and just put it in your pocket.
And your customer's not going to be affected by that, because there's nothing worse. Like, that was the challenge that we had at the food truck, is we were trying to do elevated sort of street food.
Yeah.
And a lot of people really appreciate that, and some people don't appreciate spending the money required to do that.
I know that in my business, like specifically, because our product is a better product, but people are like, I can get this burger at A&W. I'm like, okay, it's not the same calories. It's not like, there's so many different things, but trying to make your business model work and build your clients, right? Which is the challenge.
Yeah.
So you guys own this company. How do you divide your work? Do you both do the same thing, or do you divide and
Well, it's
conquer?
a bit of a yin and a yang sort of thing. Chris is really good at things that I'm not, and vice versa, you know. So we haven't laid it out like specifically, you know, and given each other. I think we just, when we see the other guy sort of struggling, we jump in and we help out, and you know, it's just a really good relationship that we have, and it works, you know. And we're always like, you know, we're solution oriented, we're problem solvers. We don't get hung up on, you know, the little things or the big things, you know.
Well, Clay doesn't. He's taught me how to sort
Yeah, chill.
you know, chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
but it works good, you know. Yeah, maybe we should differentiate some of the tasks and stuff. But I mean, I try to learn everything that he's proficient at, so that I can carry my own weight, and I think he does the same. You know? So.
I think the whole partnership, I know through my whole career, I've been in partnerships. I've got partners in Big Wheel, and we own Zambries, and I've other business I've been in partnerships. If you can navigate those, you know, prickly points and remember to be respectful, I think it's great. It's super challenging if there's disagreements, but I think through that process of getting through the hard parts is, as you grow on in the partnership, it gets stronger. You know, it either breaks up or it gets stronger. But I rather have, you know, less work, less responsibility, but shared. And if it's complementary, you know, like if you have people that can do skills that you don't have, I think that's the secret to success.
Yeah, we definitely prop each other up, and it's a great thing.
I trying to run a restaurant by yourself.
You
You know,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
might as
I
well
take
open-
my hat off to anybody that's.
Well,
doing
you look
that
at Marianne
because-
at Rose too. Like, you know, she's ran through COVID, and she had, you know, at the Hudson and all the challenges that happened there. And when you're by yourself, it's a lonely spot, right, Sam? Yeah, Sam's
It's lonely at the top.
Yeah,
I
it's
tell
lonely
you.
at the top. Who do you cry to? know.
Yourself, your pillow.
Your pillow, your
pillow,
mom,
my
your
mom.
wife. Your
Yeah.
wife's tired of listening to it.
Yeah,
I know mine is.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Yeah.
when I first went into business, I had this very clear vision. You know, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. And, you know, in forming the partnership, you know, we faced a lot of stuff where, you know, Clay was like, no, that's not the way that we should do this.
Yeah.
And you kind of step back and you go, well, you know, I don't know how this is going to work out, but you just sort of take a risk and you trust
Yeah.
in the sort of process. And then you realize, wow, you know, I don't know everything here, and there is a better way to do some things.
I think it's that the kind of talk about emotional intelligence and that ability to kind of be introspective with yourself and go, maybe let me think about the other person's perspective a bit and just sit in it for a while. Versus you get into this, you know, it's kind of like the zero sum kind of competition, like competition for ideas. There's a winner and loser, but if you actually approach it from a different angle where you're listening and digesting and then thinking, you can actually make Clay's idea a little bit better. And perhaps Clay, the same with Clay, is like, hey, well, if we do this part and this part that you suggested, and then all of a sudden you start building that trust, right? But
try not to take it personally.
Yeah.
And, I'm really good at putting myself in other people's shoes, or at least
Yes.
I try to.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to understand
Yeah.
their perspective, and then that's, I think,
that's
really
the
important
key
part of this.
to it. And it's key to hospitality, understanding what your customers want and need, but then also not being so rigid with your path, like the vision. Like if you have a vision, you're like, I see this. And a lot of the times, like even though your vision is probably where you if you have it, you may end up there. The journey there is going to be very different, right? But if you keep that, but don't go, okay, I need this now, but you miss all the steps.
You need
that
to be able to turn on a dime and adapt, and that's a
and
really
be able to
important
absorb
part,
and incorporate other ideas that will still get you to the vision. You know,
And that's how
definitely.
we started this box and paper thing.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, we were like, this isn't working anymore for us. Let's, you know, we already started the box and paper thing before we even knew it. It was just a part of this other business, and we're like, we just had that aha moment, and we were just like,
why don't we do this instead?
let's do this,
Yeah.
you know, and it's been great. And it's been one of those businesses where it's just going better than I ever expected. Because every other venture that I've done, it's been like this obstacle, that obstacle.
Yeah, you said your
know, and
resume
it's like,
earlier. Yeah, it's just like pilot, logger.
I could go on all day.
rubber.
That's a whole nother podcast. But I won't bore you with those details. But yeah,
But when it clicks, right?
yeah, and this has just been, it just makes sense. Our customers love us. We love them. I mean, I love, and I
Well, it's only been a month or something with us, so I'll let you guys know.
We're hammering out the details.
Yeah, we're
but,
hammering
you
out the
know,
details.
we have really good retention. We haven't lost anybody yet. And
Well, it's that customer service piece too, because there's going to be problems and there's going to be issues and there's going to be products that are different than the ones that we currently had, but you got to adjust and work with each other to see how you can bridge that, right?
And with you guys, like, so we brought in all these products. We have a date where we started, so a lot of the products that are your products that are coming just haven't gotten here yet.
Yeah.
So we've bridged the gap with alternate
okay.
products.
That makes
you know what I mean? So
okay. I had a list of issues I was going to raise.
There's 4 or 5
Is it
products you're going to
appropriate?
be like, is this the right thing?
So,
And
so the clamshells won't always be picked.
yeah, exactly. But those things are, they're happening and they're on their way. And,
Oh,
yeah,
perfect,
so
perfect.
If you see any odd things in there, we're
Well, it
aware
makes a lot of
that, and-
sense. I mean, obviously, I don't necessarily get involved in every one of those decisions and stuff, but I always tell our team is like, when you're in a partnership, and it goes back to that partnership piece that we talked about earlier, is trust, and then you can kind of work with each other a little bit, and then as long as you're having open dialogue, there's no problem that can't be fixed, or even if it can't be fixed, then at least then you both, okay, we can't do this, then great.
Yeah.
So we won't do this that way. We'll just go back to the other way, but we can still do business together.
I think if you're going to have a successful long-term working relationship, there's going to be challenges.
Oh,
Yeah.
if there isn't something, something's
exactly.
screwing
Something's a
you.
little fishy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think for us, it's just communication and sort of making sure that customers are looked after and getting what they need, and that they can reach us and hear us, and that we hear their concerns about split lids or thin napkins or whatever issue it might be, and
we'll resolve it. That's
Wow.
what we do.
So you did talk to my team.
we
We're in contact, yeah.
we spent the weekend.
I've got.
we met with Marianne and Kristen 2 days ago, yesterday. Had a great chat. Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
And then we bumped into Jeff Hetherington
Oh, yeah,
yesterday,
Jeff.
had
Yeah.
some coffee, and what was supposed to be just a coffee went on. Like we chatted. We were probably hanging out for about 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, I
yesterday.
believe that.
He canceled his golf plans to
Oh my
hang out.
God, Jeff canceling golf
Yeah,
plans?
what a
Never.
great guy, eh?
Wow.
He's awesome. I love Jeff.
If it was the rain or if it was interest in what we were doing.
Yeah. He's like, oh, gotta cancel it, guys.
Yeah,
Rating
yeah,
pouring
it was
down.
really good. So
He actually called me the other day. This is singing the praises of Jeff, and
Yeah.
all nice people in the world.
He listens to our show too.
This is why he called me. It's
Yeah.
like he just wanted to say something real nice to me, and he's a good guy. Shout out
he's
to Jeff
fantastic,
Hetherington.
and he's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
he started Big Wheel. I was trying to get my partners Joe and Peter to do Big Wheel, and I had this idea of it, and all this character stuff, and then they're like, oh, well, they're in the business, and they're just like, Kalen, what new idea are you coming up with now? And I went for a beer with Jeff, and then we mapped it all out, and then, Jed, you want to partner with us? And then I go back to them, and they're like, okay, Jeff wants to partner, and they're like, oh, okay, let's do it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have, if it wasn't for Jeff, actually, who knows if Big Wheel, would have been around. So yeah. So again, good. You got to find good people, and the whole partnership piece, I don't think can be overstated. And I don't think you should also give up with the challenges too, right? Like if
no, I've always been like, I'm going to do this myself because I'm the only person that can do this right, and that's how I've always done things. But all my successful friends that have done anything, it's like you got to bring people in, you got to train them, you got to build that network. They move on, they train people, and that's how you like that organization. And having an invested interest, that's how you can really expand and really be successful at what you do. And you have to put your trust into other people, and you have to find the right people first. But I mean,
it's sometimes trial and error, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Do you guys still go out together on your Harleys and hang out after work?
Dirt biking and Harley rides, and
We're neighbors now.
Yeah, Chris actually just bought the neighboring property, one of my old subdivisions.
Okay, it's getting creepy, guys.
Yeah.
Well, partnership's good partners, but you don't need to move in together.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier though.
And where's your like you have a warehouse?
Yeah,
Like, where do you
we're in
stock your
Duncan.
product?
We're in like a sort of northern end of Duncan there currently, but we've kind of outgrown the space that we're in. So we're looking for a larger warehouse. We're currently expanding right now. So it's an exciting time for us. Things are looking up. There's lots of business out there. And me and Chris have been doing the lion's share of everything, right? But we're looking for more salespeople and more delivery drivers, and things. things are
Where
going
where
well.
would they be based out of? Like
Where will we be based?
No, so I'm assuming you're based in Duncan now.
Yeah. We're thinking between Jameson and the Malahat, sort of
Yeah.
that central area for the South Island, right?
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of business in Victoria, and we want to move towards Nanaimo as well,
Yeah.
which we haven't really. We've
I
got
think
some
being
organic.
on the other side of the Malahat has some strategic advantage too, especially in the winter, right?
There's
Well, how about Duke Point getting that $100+ million investment now? So they've got barges coming in from
Oh, wow.
overseas direct to the island, 20 minutes from our warehouse, full customs capacity. So
Oh,
now when we're
amazing.
importing, we don't have to ship from Vancouver and
yeah.
over to the ferries, and you know what I mean. And now it's coming straight in. So that's
Amazing.
gonna save big bucks,
Yeah.
for us here.
Well, allows you to expand on the island and save customers money, right?
Yeah,
Make it
yeah,
more
it's gonna
efficient,
save everybody
decrease
money.
time.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, you talk about margins. It's shipping's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And the freight fluctuates a lot.
Oh my God.
So a big difference for us to be able to bring stuff straight into, onto the island.
Yeah.
If we're not quite there yet, the renovations are underway, and
So
the-
what do we 5-year time?
No,
horizon or
they're
less?
saying this year.
Oh wow.
But I talked to the operators. There's a company that operates the Duke Point terminal called DP World,
Yeah.
and we talked to them, and they're like, well, they'll tell you it's this year, but judging by the sort of pace of construction, it could be next year. But
That's still a reasonable time frame.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you in 2 years, if you could be getting products right into Nanaimo,
It's going to be great timing
Yeah.
for our expansion and all the wonderful things we're up to.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's the mill closed in
Oh, that's
Chemainus.
right, yes.
So there's good opportunity to move into that area and
Yeah.
and sort of
Yeah.
take advantage of its location. It's sort of split nice between Victoria and Nanaimo.
Well, I think there's a lot of growth. I know Comox Valley's growing a lot. There's
Yeah.
lots of opportunities. Still growth in Victoria, but if you're going to get, because I think we've got 350,000 people south of the Malahat or something. Is that right? But then north, there's
Yes.
another 650, right? I don't know.
Well, let me check, Chad.
Yeah. ChatGPT, what do you say? So you've got a strong customer base. So the other thing about your business is making sure that where your growth's going to come from too, right? So and positioning yourself right. So your supply is coming in from Nanaimo, so your costs are less to get to your
Yeah.
warehouse. You've got arguably a big population that's north of you,
Yeah.
and then your main population is south, which
North and south.
still
yeah,
works.
We've got a lot
Yeah.
of business to get
Yeah.
into, but yeah, so it's optimistic. Things are
Yeah,
hopeful,
I love
and, and we just, we're stoked to still be in the industry,
Yeah.
to still be dealing with our friends and, being able to help them,
Yeah.
Well,
you can kind of see where they come from too, because having been it,
yeah.
what'd you guys do with your food trucks?
So we were able to find someone interested to sort of take over that business, and we were able to exit in 2023.
Yeah. And it's
And,
still running.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
So the food truck operated for I guess 2.5 years as it was. It's now been sold, and that little corner sandwich shop has moved into an indoor location in Cowichan Bay.
Oh,
where
cool.
It's about to open soon. I think I saw a post.
And a secondary location at the
Oh,
Cowichan Golf and Country
fantastic!
Club.
So it's kind of nice to see your kind
It's
of baby
it's so
still
nice.
be there.
It's it's
Yeah.
just it's very heartwarming. It's so much effort, so much work put
Yeah.
into that place. Just as you guys both know,
Yeah.
and to see it flourishing and doing well and the new owner just happy. I mean, you can't ask for more than that, right?
Yeah.
And the food truck itself has now been taken over. Another little plug for Cobble Hill Deli, which is just opened.
Oh, fantastic!
Just on Fisher Road there. And they've got a whole custom sort of sandwich sort of thing, but it's really nice. Not only can we supply them and save them some money, but we can stop by and see this this project that we started years ago still being sort of loved and and run, and
That's
it's
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
we built
awesome.
these food
That's
trucks
kinda
ourselves
dreamy.
too. That
Oh,
was
did
like,
you?
Oh yeah, we're pros now.
Oh my! Well, we own a food truck. I know how hard that business is, especially in the weather too.
Well, when it's cold and all the
Yeah.
pipes are frozen in the morning.
Yeah.
And then in the summer when it's hot and you're like, oh my god.
well, and getting the supplementary staff too. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, come work in -1. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we've got
it's
Leo
seasonal,
here
but-
there. Yeah.
With 40-mile-an-hour winds whipping
Yeah.
through. Oh.
Well, we tried doing it 365 days a year, but
Yeah.
it's like a challenge.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
Our food
Yeah.
truck was stationary, so it never moved.
Yeah.
It's we had our regular business hours, and that worked well for us.
Yeah.
Moving a food truck, I can't
No,
even imagine.
when ours was stationary too, I remember that was one of the reasons why we ended up shutting our Nanaimo store down. Like the Nanaimo, we were in a bad location. It was South Nanaimo, but again, COVID, blame COVID. No, it was like our location sucked. Like it just was a bad location and not understanding the market. So Nanaimo people in the north never came to the south. The south never went to the north, and you're just like, like we were giving free burgers away at this soccer camp in sort of mid Nanaimo, and they're like, oh, I used to go to the South Nanaimo all the time. No, I don't need the free burger because I don't go south anymore. I'm like, dude, it's like 10 minutes on the road right here. That road right there that goes right through Nanaimo. You can just get down there, no problem. But they just wouldn't. And I was like, shocking.
what does he mean he doesn't need a free burger?
Well, that's what I said. It's free.
What do you
Everybody
mean?
needs a free
Yeah,
burger.
they're like, give it to somebody that you know comes down. And I just thought it was
Yeah,
it
go
was
with your
odd,
friend.
but also stupid of us not to have done the research. But getting back to the food truck, so we had this food truck down here, and we had it on Souk Road, and it was like really doing well. Then we had it in Royal Bay, and it didn't do that well. And we're like, oh, and then the weather and all this kind of stuff. And we're like, okay, let's move it to Nanaimo. So our Nanaimo store was kind of sucking. It wasn't doing well. And they were like, what if we go to Nanaimo and can build out the North Nanaimo? Then we've got the commissary kitchen in the south that does our products. Then eventually our brand will get a little bit bigger. Then we can maybe do a brick and mortar. And we get up there and it's a stationary food truck, but they didn't want stationary food trucks. And they were talking about the gray water removal and then all this stuff. And they're like, well, there's another food truck right there that's doing it in buckets, pouring it down the drain. And we had a system with the landlord there because the mall had been taken down. But we would get access to the Sears, the old Sears location. And we could do a hard line gray water treatment.
Oh, you're giving me nightmares.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Flashback.
So and
PTSD.
Island Health said no, and I asked them why, and they're like, "Well, because you need to do this way." And I'm like, well, that other guy's doing that. They're grandfathered, and I was like, "Well, show me what is grandfathered. Like, you need to have a regulation or a law. Like, what is being grandfathered, and where is it grandfathered, and why?" And they couldn't. And I'm like, "Oh, so you're just denying us?" And that was the death knell for us because I was like, "Okay, well, we can't continue."
Well,
right?
when I had a kiosk,
We all got our nightmares. This is like
this
a
is a
counseling
this is a
session now.
nightmare. Yeah. Oh my God, the hives.
Yeah, the hives.
I would just take my gray water and put it down the storm drain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take my whole bucket and walk it over to the driveway because I was
Yeah.
outside and just dump it right in.
There's
it
a
was
grease
never a
trap in
problem.
there, right?
That was my
The
grease
officials will
trap.
be waiting for you
Yeah,
outside.
the
check.
fishes are coming up the storm
Yeah.
drain going like this.
Those
then
fish
you
are getting
just
fat.
hose off the gross bits that didn't make it down.
Yeah.
But that was 30 years ago. I've
Yeah,
learned my
you learned your
lessons.
lesson.
Yeah.
We never did that.
No,
Yeah, statute
never,
of
ever.
limitations is over, Sam. They will not arrest you.
I also had my intake water come in from a garden hose.
Oh, hilarious.
So, I mean, this was quite a while ago.
The health authority doesn't like that either.
No.
Yeah, no backflow preventers there.
We were really lucky with our location in Cobble Hill. We both grew up in Cobble Hill. You know,
Oh.
Clay and I have been friends since we were kids.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, we went to high school together. I don't know how many classes we were in. Law 12. I remember
Yeah.
that. But
Came in handy.
you know, we were both, pretty determined to do something in Cobble Hill, and that spot in Cobble Hill, it's sort of, it's the little corner as we referred to it lovingly, but it's a very busy place. Like the road that runs, in front of it, the Cobble Hill Road is like the second busiest road in the Cowichan Valley.
Yeah, that's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah,
It's
and
like a
we
high school reunion
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
we didn't intend to do a
Great.
food truck. There was a red building on the corner there that I drove past and thought, that would be an awesome place to put a restaurant.
Yeah.
Went in and talked to the owner, and it had already been leased out to a dispensary that was going to be opening in a couple of years, so it was sort of locked up.
Oh, darn.
And we just started talking, and they said, well, what about, out front? We managed to work something out, and I think it's sort of really gave that area of Cobble Hill a little bit more character.
Absolutely, yeah.
And provided that delicious meal that you
There's the park across the road too, the dog park and walking Cobble Hill Mountain, all that.
Well,
So
and
it was,
that's
like,
sort of
really
like
nice.
builds community, you know,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
like restaurants and, you know, coffee shops and all those things. It's obviously you're selling and you want to make money, but how do you build community? How do you get a spot where people can gather and talk? And you guys having that local knowledge, being there as well, and identifying, hey, that would make a good spot, and then trying to get it. And then when you can't get it, you're okay, what's the backup plan? And then building that sort of idea, but seeing it come to fruition and, you know, seeing your friends come and buy your products, like this is where it's all about. You know?
I think it would have ended poorly too had we moved into that building.
Yes.
You know, we were able to sell the business because we had some assets in it.
Yeah.
And it was sort of flexible that way.
Well, and the cost of entry, like when you're renovating a building and all those other costs that people, why do you charge $12 for a burger? Well, I charge $12 for a burger because I had to spend, you know, $300,000 in all this infrastructure stuff, right? Which, you know, is part of the business, but there's all this hidden overhead that, you know, and debt and all this stuff that people don't think about a lot. Customers don't.
Even the food truck, we had, you know, really low overhead, and we tried to make things as tight as possible. But, you know, after a couple of years and looking at it and looking at the margins, we just had to sit down and have one of those hard discussions. Like, how do we move forward from here? Do we continue this grind for the next 5 years, or is there another opportunity? And fortunately, we had another hungry restaurateur ready to jump in, and we had our sort of eyes on this box and paper thing, which for us has been, you know, a really good business change, a really good lifestyle change. You know, you have 20 or 30, I don't know how many staff you guys have at any one time, but it's a big job.
Lot. Yes.
You know? And
a lot of babysitting.
I had to tell someone this morning that it was probably best not to do a crossword in front of the owner. You know, it's like, do I have to say this? Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, you talk about business and easy business. It's the restaurant industry is not easy, and that's where it comes passion. But it's funny because Yan, who's our managing director, was in town. He works out of France, so and it works. Like, it works for us, actually. People are like, well, he works out of France. Yeah, it does work. He does a lot of stuff through Zoom or whatever, it works. But we were in Zambries having sort of a farewell meal. And one of our chefs, who's now a partner in Zambries as well, was there. And you just think about the amount, like, and she's worked with us now, like, she started in 2013, I
About
think.
like 14
Or
years?
2012. Yeah, 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I remember we had this, Joe and I were out for dinner, and we weren't together anymore. So I remember we were getting into talk about partnership. We were arguing about something, and then we get a phone call how this new employee that just started, she'd been with us like 3 days, fainted, and then hit her head on one of the things that we were like, oh my God, call 911 and get her to the hospital. And I kind of often think about this woman that worked for us. I didn't realize it was Emily, Julia. Pardon me, Julia, who was that person, that first employee that had done this. So you have these events where you're just like, oh my goodness, obviously you feel sorry for what happened, then you're worried about her, and then you're thinking about your business in general, of like the impact of that, and
insurance,
WCP, but you just remember all this. So as traumatic as that was for her and for us at the time, to see that she's done this, she's now got a career, she's got a partnership, she's been doing it since the beginning, and you're just like, my heart felt warm because that moment stuck with me for all those years, but I didn't realize it was Julia that happened to. And just those connections, like
the connections,
and the people,
Clay mentioned it earlier. He started out in the kitchen. I also started at Arbutus Ridge, as a kid up island, and Aiden,
like the golf course.
The golf course, yeah. And our chef Aiden Tufel was one of the cooks there, and he was a part of our of my training, and being able to work with him again where in the beginning it was just Clay and I and Aiden again.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
in the
awesome.
food truck, and it was,
We recreated that,
Oh,
that perfect
So
time.
you guys are
in our
just
lives,
really
yeah.
trying to create your sandbox.
I was
for
right,
now,
you
man.
know,
Yeah.
I love that.
yeah, and it kind of it was a sandbox that got out of control. Like
Yeah,
somebody dumped too much sand in there at one point.
Then it lit on fire.
So do you guys have employees now, or do you contract out your
Very minimal.
deliveries?
Mostly, we've had a few salespeople, and but yeah, we have a contractor right now that's helping with some stuff. But honestly, between me and Chris, we can do a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it might distract us from maybe some of the things that we should be doing maybe in other areas. But I mean, it's great. I like mixing it up. I like I like to spend some time in the office. I like to spend some time on the road delivering. I like to do all the things. So it's kind of nice to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Do some sales. Do some door knocking. And,
But we have one person who's the primary delivery driver.
Yeah.
They're out right now. Wednesday's a big day for us,
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, they're hitting all the stops today.
and I can't even keep up with him. That guy is an excellent.
Yeah, he's a machine.
And when you find those employees, like we were talking about Julia earlier, but these awesome, like hardworking, dedicated, and it's such a pleasure.
Well, they follow you.
Yeah.
Like he's worked with me in a couple other industries, doing various other things, and I mean, like same with Aiden. They kind of follow you.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've had some catering companies, and Aiden's always been my anchor. Key guy, and
They become great resources too, even if they go on to do something else. Like all that corporate memory they have, and they know you, and
you become great friends.
Yeah,
It's like we'll do tacos. I'll do burrito tacos, and I'll invite Aiden over because he's like the Spanish or the Mexican food guru,
Yeah.
right? And we've got all these chilies, and like we're making some crazy food, and it's evolving like you wouldn't believe, man. I love tacos, by the way.
oh, tacos are awesome. Well, there's
it
such
doesn't have to be Tuesday. just
Doesn't
a
have to be
taco,
Tuesday.
there's an amazing Hispanic population here now. Like that work like. Some of the food, some of the Spanish food, the Mexican food that we
Is
can
that
get
one
here
I
is
went to
incredible.
the other night? Maize?
Oh,
Oh,
Maze,
yeah.
yeah.
Discard?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Great food,
incredible.
yeah.
So
It's
good.
been nice to see that. You think of Victoria and English and tea rooms but just to have that. We've been a pretty sort of white kind of British
Yeah.
kind of
Fish and
community.
chips?
Yeah, fish
We got
and chips.
awesome sushi. We
Yeah,
got awesome,
sushi.
Like, we
Yeah.
got
Tea at
awesome
the Fairmont.
everything.
Yeah, Korean.
If we're getting that
I think
fusion.
you can kind of point
Yeah.
back to COVID when that all should. No, you
Yeah. You can't blame COVID.
Ah,
on it.
COVID again.
no blaming, welcoming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. I mean, you look at communities like Toronto and Montreal, there's such a diverse population, which just brings that texture. People talk about, immigration and things like that. I'm just like, man, there's, when you bring someone from a different country, there's so much more you get for it. It's not only the employment component of it, but just that history and that culture and the different way of looking at things. And it brings a real, for me anyway, our business has been fantastic. And just that, we have a lot of, sort of Hispanic or Spanish leaning, Mexican leaning taste. It's because we've got that influence now, which I think is
It's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Food is like my favorite hobby. It's like
Yeah.
my form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Is like and what do you do, right? But
You just got to work out
you just gotta burn more calories.
So
right?
speaking of diversity,
Yeah.
are you guys planning on becoming more diverse in the products? Like, are you going to get into
Always.
food at all, or is that something you ever
I'm gonna
thought
avoid
about?
food for the next little while
That's
until
smart.
my nerves settle a bit from the last
Yeah, that's-
venture. But cleaning products, we're getting heavy into the cleaning products, and we're really spreading out. And there's a lot of areas that we haven't tapped into yet, and we're getting to it.
It's a constant sort of battle though, because it's like you have a customer, they want you to carry something. Well, should we start stocking that? It doesn't quite fit with what we're doing. And
Yeah.
we try to take a hard look at every item that we're adding so that we don't end up with a sort of,
Well, it's that
collage of,
overhead.
of-
And the reality is
Yeah.
every new customer needs unique products.
Yeah.
Right.
At least one that we don't probably carry at the time, right? So, we got to bring that in. Like we carry dinner napkins. We got white, we got brown, we got black, we got pink, we got all the dinner napkins. Like, and that goes with like every product. So, I'm chatting with some business owners and stuff, and like, oh, hey, would you mind? Would you like to switch to black? You use black cocktail napkins. Why not use black dinner napkins, right? And try and move that,
Extreme
of that giant 40-foot container dinner napkins we brought in for one customer who buys like $1 a month, kind of a thing. So.
But those are the kind of challenges and learning curves that you have, right? But every one of those decisions ties up capital.
That's the thing, and there's probably another 1,000 paper products that we could add that would all make perfect sense. And then there's the janitorial supply, which is sort of what we've moved into recently.
I think those margin. I know that's an area in restaurants like we get killed, like on the chemicals, and it's just it's a racket. I'm sorry, whoever's in the chemical business, but it is a racket.
That's true.
They install those like the industry standard seems to be, we'll come in, we'll put in an expensive machine for you, and then you purchase our chemicals, and they're clawing it back from you through those chemicals. And that's why we haven't approached that really aggressively. A lot of places will just say we're under contract, because of this. There's a bit of a moat, but
we're structured like our margins are just enough to keep the business running and for us to be happy with the way things are going, right? And that gets down to that sort of ethical way of doing things, and I think that's why a lot of our customers appreciate us, and you work with a lot of guys, and like for instance, paper towel rolls, say for example, one of our customers was paying, say, whatever X amount of dollars for these paper towel rolls, and we met with them the other day, and we're like, oh, by the way, those are $20 cheaper than they were when we first started working. That doesn't happen with other guys. We're actively, trying to make things better for our customers, and it makes our lives better too. And we can really get behind our products and feel good about what we're selling to our friends.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the transparency piece is so important too. And that's the thing, is if the price goes down, that's one of the issues with some of the bigger suppliers, is you almost need to have a auditing department to make sure.
Our customers audit us.
Yeah.
So we'll get a call.
I just audited you guys yesterday because somebody was saying that, and it had to do with the pack size difference. And they're like, well, the price isn't right. And then I'm like, I go back, and some of the prices were actually a little bit lower than what was on the initial contract piece. I was like, oh, it's refreshing. It's refreshing to have gone through that process and have been, oh, that's good. Normally I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. What are they doing?
And if somebody comes in and buys that product behind you, they're going to get that better price.
Yeah.
And with every customer watching their items, they'll call us and they'll say this item's a bit higher than we think it should be, and we'll go back and we'll talk to our suppliers and we'll
figure it out.
And
that gets applied to everybody.
Yeah, which is awesome. So one person's efforts lead to savings for everybody.
Savings,
And we try to just, we share the prices, and we operate on volume. So if you're gonna hit a certain volume, we're gonna discount you a certain amount.
Yeah,
and,
I like that component too.
Every order, and just sort of just make it more transparent, like easier to plan.
Yeah.
Running the food trucks. One of the things that drove us into this was sitting down at the end of the year and sort of looking at some of those packaging costs and talking to our supplier and saying, this one particular item, I can see here that we've paid half and we've paid double.
Yeah.
And we've paid double most of the time. Well, what's the story with this? And well, we thought you guys liked the expensive one.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that in stock for you.
We know you guys like the really good.
I'm like, you mean the one that is exactly like the cheaper one?
Yeah.
These are identical. Wait a minute.
We don't like making money.
So if a person like myself wanted to go through all my products, all my paper products, and do my own audit and then call you up, what's the best way for me to do that? Is it good just to call you and have you help me do my audit? Or is it best if I know all my prices, all my everything, come to you with a list of things? Or is there a way that
good question,
guys can kind of come in and offer some hands-on help?
We'd love to come in and help you look at products that you're using and maybe where we could find other products that are cheaper. If something else is going to work, say you're using a 600 milliliter container, maybe a 400 milliliter container works, and we can save you $1,200 a year on that. Who knows, right? So that's one thing. But if you wanted to send us a list of what you're using, that would give us a good idea of where we can save you money. And Chris probably has
You know,
some
in a
thoughts on
perfect
this?
world, they would contact us and they'd send a velocity report and they'd share all their prices.
Yeah,
And, you know, that would be wonderful. I think what happens a lot of times is we will go in and we'll meet with them and we'll sort of look at their items, especially like, you know, what are your high volume items? Where can we have the biggest impact? You know, some places are only buying 2 boxes of something a year, but this odd little item you're bringing in, you know, 10 boxes a month. So a lot of customers will go in and we'll sort of look through and like Clay said, we'll find substitutions or we'll just build a plan and we can, you know, present that to you and businesses will, you know, do a compare, but it's nice to get as much information as possible.
Yeah.
But you know, restaurant owners are busy, and
Yeah.
you know, going in there and asking them to, you know, spend a couple hours and generate those reports and pull all your prices and, you know, hopefully we can do something for you. We try to offload as much of that as we can. Our goal is to sort of simplify that part of the business.
Yeah.
Just, you know, running a restaurant, you've got a million things going on. When we first started, we tried to do everything ourselves.
Yeah.
Everything. You know, we ran the food trucks on propane. Well, we'd load those propane tanks up and go down to Costco to get the best price.
Yeah.
Eventually, we ended up with a sort of monitored system where they would stop by and, keep things going. So we're just trying to make it as easy as we can.
Yeah, and you know, we can come in now. We know the business well enough. We can just come in, grab a coffee from you, look around, and we're like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
they've
know
got this.
exactly what you're
Yeah,
using,
right.
right? You know, and so
I think
it's-
that's the thing is like making it as easy as possible.
Yeah.
We're just reviewing our HVAC company that does all that stuff. And a sales guy who we've worked with before was trying to get a hold of us. And I'm like, bro, if you're going to actually want to see me and we're going to be sit down, it's not going to happen. So find the best way that you can, you know, be available to your customer, but also communicate that you can get the information you need. For me, I don't really mess around. I just usually just disclose, here's what we're paying. Here's where I think we need to pay. What can you do? Because that way I know you need to make money. So, and I know that I want to try to get some savings. So if there's some things that you can save, just be transparent, because a lot of people think, oh, well, I'll let them come, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't know, the lack of information, with more information, you guys can do way more. Right. So, and also be honest, like
Yeah,
how
like,
much
let's
can
work
you save?
together
Let's work
on this,
together.
right?
Like
Yeah.
we both need to make money. We both want to I want to save. You guys need to make money. You want to provide value, you know, for your business. So just be honest, you know, just say what your prices are. I think people think they protect that, but I don't see why you should, you know.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And that's how we've grown the business. I guess most of the time, you know, it's been Clay and I knocking on doors.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the point where there's a little bit more word of mouth and, you know, we're starting to have some incoming sort of stuff. But most of the time over the last couple of years, it's just us walking in and, you know, we'd love to help you save some money on that item. I can see you're burning through a lot of those. And we start there.
Yeah. You come here, I'm going to hand you some money.
Oh, and
That was great.
you guys don't have a minimum order size. So you mean I
Yeah.
can throw this little item on and this little item
Yeah.
on and, you know, all this sort of stuff. And then, you know, we start working together and hopefully their life gets easier.
Well, that's the thing. It's like there's so many of these little items like in the business, like depending on what, you know, whether you're buying the food or you're buying the compostable material or you're buying
grill bricks.
Yes, grill bricks or equipment or any of this stuff. So anything you can streamline. So how, as we wrap up, how can our listeners get a hold of you guys to do business? Website?
We will. You know, we've got our email, we've got our website, we've got our phone number. So you can get a hold of us at canadianboxandpaper@gmail.com. That's our email there, and our website is boxandpaper.ca. And our phone number, boxandpaper.ca, and AND. And our phone number is 250-910-8888. And like,
That's where
Ask
we're
you by
watching.
name?
I prefer text.
Sure.
You know, like,
Yeah,
text
I
me,
do
right?
too.
I
I
can
do
reference
too.
it. You know, that's great. But email works great. Call us. You know, everybody has a preference.
Is
Right?
this
So-
Clay? No, it's Chris. No, I want Clay.
Yeah.
Clay's going to give me a better deal.
Yeah.
Is this Chris? Is this Clay? No, I want Chris.
Yeah.
I want to start doing that. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
How about a shameless plug?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
absolutely,
going to say, is there
please.
something that
So
you're...
The more shameless,
I live
the
in
better.
Area E in Duncan, and that's Satlam, Glenora, and Cowichan Station. And so I'm running for area director. So area directory. So if
awesome.
anybody out there listening and you have friends in Cowichan Valley, or you're you live in the area E, Glenora, Satlam, Cowichan Station, I've got some practical solutions to some of the problems affecting our community. So,
You're a politician too. I love it.
you can get at me at Clay for Area E on Facebook. That's my page, and you can check out some of my
Your
stuff
policies.
there. Yeah,
What? When's the election?
October 17th.
Oh,
Oh, lots of time to go.
Lots of
vote
time.
A couple
I'm
times.
getting the jump on it. Yeah, 'cause,
I love it.
I think change is in the air, and I think everybody can get on board with what I'm doing here. So
good. I love it. And you know what? Like, public service is a blessing for the right
the
reasons.
valley's been so good to me,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, give back.
It's time to help the valley back out. Give it back.
I love
Right
it.
on.
Yeah.
And for your business, is there anything that you wanted to end this on?
Chris probably has a few things he could probably. What do you think, Chris?
With Canadian Box and Paper.
Yeah.
Well, we're active in the South Island. If you have a business that's using a lot of takeout containers or something, and you're interested in sort of potentially saving some money or streamlining some of that operation, please do give us a call.
And
We're-
support a local business.
That's
Right.
the thing. A
Yeah.
lot of our customers are getting on board because they want
Yeah.
to support a local business rather than a large sort of
Yeah.
multinational sort of
And
situation.
we have the compostable materials. We have the zero-emission delivery. We deliver every day. We have volume discounts, 5% and
We have
10% discounts.
profit or discounts for non-profits as well.
Yes,
Awesome.
which is
So we-
huge for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
That's great.
We we help the
I'm on
community
a couple
out.
nonprofit boards, guys. I love it.
How about for a cafe that's non-profitable?
Yeah, I run a nonprofit business
Right?
too, guys.
Non-profit. I just have to register.
Big discounts, yeah.
I think you have to be a registered
Yeah,
non-profit.
exactly.
So maybe you
Oh.
can qualify now.
Maybe.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time, and go support Canadian Box and Paper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard
I love it.
tons about you guys. Real pleasure to meet you.
Thanks
We
so much for
appreciate it,
having
guys,
us.
man. I can't
And let's
thank you
fix
enough for
those.
this.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no,
We
we're
don't
on
need
it.
to
We're
fix
on
the car.
it.
You guys are on it. You guys are on it. I love it.
Yeah.
We got it.
And awesome. Thanks, Sam.
Hey, Kaylin, that was a great one.
It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Remember to be real kind.
Okay, you be nice.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bread and Butter Collective's membership includes the following local businesses: 2% Jazz, Bunny's Kitchen, Buzz Coffee House, Eagle-Ite, Big Wheel Burger, Blue Mountain Solutions, Bodega Tapas Wine Bar, Eva Schnitzel House, Farmsgate Foods and Catering, Victoria Chocolate and Company, Drum Roaster Coffee, Habit Coffee, Foo Asian Street Food, the Culinary Arts Program at Camosun, Cafe Fantastico, Fall Epi, Harold Street Brewworks, Hey Happy, House of Botang, Nikkei Ramen Ya, Jenny Marie's Cracker Company, La Pasta, La Rue Patisserie, Mocha House, Part and Parcel, Poco a Pinto Bar, Pizzeria Prima Strada, Keating Pizza, Roast, Table 9 Consulting, Sherwood Cafe and Bar, Sweets by Selena, The Collective Wine Bar and Kitchen, The Drake, Tapa Bar, The Nimble Bar Company, Ruth and Dean, The Whole Beast, The Wienery, Spoon's Diner, Truffles-Inspired Catering, and Zambries.
To hear more from the Bread and Butter Collective, go to checknews.ca/podcasts on Check Plus, or find us on your favorite podcasting platform.